Ooh, it's late. It's dark. We're gonna have a serious talk tonight, and I fully expect to lose more of you because it's so funny. Like when someone says something that you agree with, you're so quick to like or subscribe, but if anything that you disagree with that could possibly be true, and they force you to deal with uncomfortable truths, you want to run away from it. You don't want to have physical fortitude. You don't want to stand and fight. You all run away. Every last one of you. I think I can count on one hand how many people that when the going gets tough, they dig in and fight compared to everyone else, which is like 99.99999% of people, just want to run. Like, that's the reality of the civilization that we all live in today. And it's truly hilarious to me that while all I want to do is lock in, everybody else just wants to zone out. I mean, have you ever questioned, like truly questioned, why the world is the way it is, why it's always been this way? Other than reinventing names and explanations and everything else to make every generation after it feel special about themselves, like things really have been the same since the 70s. It's literally been the same. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then if you go back even further, you see, while the world itself might have been different, like the core fundamentals of how the world gets run, how the world gets controlled, everything, it's been the same for thousands of years. Ignorance is so real. Like ignorance toward yourselves, ignorance toward others, just the refusal to accept the truth, to want to check out, zone out. And you want to get on here because I say something you don't like, whether it be that I'm disabled and the shit that I've had to go through in life, or being bisexual, or anything. Like I said, I usually leave the comments open. I've chosen to close them now because all you do is say the same shit. You are a broken record. You think you're so smart. Like, oh, this guy thinks he's edgy. He thinks he's hard. Like, I'm going to leave a comment. And then it's like, you expose yourselves more than you could ever expose me. You all lie to yourselves about the type of people you are. I embrace the reality of my situation every second I exist. I have no other choice. And that's threatening to you. Because I can know myself on such a deep level that it exposes that you don't know yourself at all. I can embrace myself on such a deep level. It exposes that you've never ever known. And then you guys go to church, or you go to mosque, or you go to synagogues, and you preach these words. But do you really believe them? Do you really understand them? How can anyone really consider themselves a mature, critically thinking, logical adult, empathetic, conscientious? We can add a bunch of big words in there to make me look smart, but we're not going to. You claim to believe these things, and you'll recite them over and over again, but do you understand what they're saying? You literally take these things literally. When if you take a step back and you listen to any of them, it doesn't matter if it's the Old Testament, it doesn't matter if it's the New Testament, it doesn't matter if it's coming from Christ's mouth or the prophets that God assigned. They are all speaking in parables. Now, if you are truly mature, intelligent, logical, critically thinking, why would you need to be spoken to in parables like you're a child? Think about it. You imitate. You copy. You see what works for one person and you apply it to your little bag of tricks. But it's not authentically and genuinely yours. You are craving something somebody else has. Sin? Anybody? 7 deadly sins? Anybody? Here's the hardest fact of life. When they say God's people, when they say God's children, when they say the meek will inherit the earth, they are not talking about you. They are not. You are part of the problem. Can you realize that? Can you deal with that? Can you make yourself better? Can you come back from the void? Can you embrace all the bullshit in your life and realize that you're better than that? Or will you continue to fall? When they say the meek will inherit the earth, when they say God's children, when they say God's people, they're not talking about Christians. They're not talking about the Israelis. They're not talking about anybody except one specific type of people. And these people do not have a common nationality. These are for the people that have not just been knocked down, but literally Mike Tyson left hand slam, head hits the fucking floor, cracks open, and you have to eat through a straw for a year, and then learn how to think again, learn how to walk again, learn how to... It's for the people that are crushed by life and choose to get back up, that understand what they are facing, embrace it wholly, and say, you will not define me. They could be disabled. They could be, they could just be a normal person that people like you that criticize me, that try to break me, try to get me to stop. You could have crushed them in the same way. These people don't have a nationality. They don't have a sex. They come from all walks of life, all backgrounds, everything. And you all think you're just. You all think you're righteous. You are exactly the people that those prophets And if Jesus actually fucking existed, which we believe it's an amalgamation of 3 different people, but that is what it is. You are exactly the people that are going to burn in that hellfire. Pretenders, mask wearers, unauthentic bitches. You get so fucking raw dogged up the ass by the powers that be. They make you believe something, and you're so ignorant, you're so childish that you take this bullshit and run. A Democrat's in office, suddenly you want to seem like you're caring and empathetic, and you want to make a difference with people like me, but then somebody like Trump gets in office, and we want to go back to this fuck it mentality, like we're going to go back to treating you like shit the same way we did before because we're done with this. If you were authentically yourself, you would stand on your own 2 feet, 10 toes fucking down, and be the same person day in and day out every second you fucking exist. But you're not. You're copies. You're imitations. You go with the zeitgeist wherever it goes. You know who else does that and changes their mind every 2 seconds? Children. All of them. Because they're still trying to learn who they are. The only problem is the older you get, the more insecure you get about actually dealing with, you don't know who the fuck you actually are. And you come across somebody who is literally been tested in the fire every second they exist. You feel inadequate. You feel like you need to break them down so you feel better about your fucking selves. You know there's only one place to go for people like that, right? And you go to church and you ask forgiveness and you think that does anything because you just go right back to acting the same way. Consistency matters more than anything, you fucks. Do you understand that? Do you understand that to actually be godly, to actually be holy, to actually be divine, you have to be true to oneself? Not an imitation, not what your job wants you to be, not what your family wants you to fucking be, not what your president or your monarch or whatever the fuck you have ruling your country wants you to fucking be. Be true to thine own self. Are you doing that? Probably not. You're probably going along with the fucking herd, with the fucking everything. You go along to get along, right? No one wants to stand out. No one wants to be the outsider. No one wants to be shunned. You are the problem. Every single goddamn one of you. Unless you're the type of person that hears these words and it lights that fire, you're just like, I know what he's talking about. Oh my god, I fucking lived that. 99.9999 blah 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 blah. Pfft, fuck you. You're going to whatever hell you believe in. You are not the divine. You are not the holy. You are not one of God's chosen few, one of God's people, one of God's children. Most of you are going to burn for the fucked up shit you've done in this life. For doing things to people that were undeserved. For ganging up on that kid when you should have stuck up for them. For telling your boss to go fuck himself instead of going along with it. You are all gonna burn, and no amount of prayer No amount of church, no amount of mosque, no amount of anything is going to fix that. You are not the chosen. You can continue going to church, you can continue saying that you believe, but your actions, your your repeated behavior. Sorry, I was trying to find a different word, but the consistency proves who you are. Are you the one that runs toward danger? Probably not. You're probably the one that runs away from it. Are you the one that's willing to run into the fire to save a harmless little child? Or will you stand outside like a coward and make excuses? Are you the one that when somebody starts, are you running to shield and protect the innocent? Or are you running over them to save your own fucked up ass? I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to hold a mirror up to your fucking asses and show the hypocrisy of what you really are. You aren't a real one. You aren't that motherfucker. You're a marionette dancing on a string, controlled by others that want to feel the same way you do, that you want to feel. Like they're in control, like they belong. See, all of you will complain about the system that dictates us and controls us, but you don't complain about it because you don't see it as unfair, and you want to bring the whole thing down and set up something more structured and stable and more foundationally even for everybody around. No, you just want to complain about it because you're not a part of the group. You're not a part of the big club. And your childish little fucking mind, your fucking little ego can't handle that. I'm special too, pay attention to me. That's all of you. That's all of you. And guess what? Fuck you. I ain't going anywhere.